day there, Badgers. One angry pagan here. So, I was just watching the chat between Jimmy the Giant and Gary's Economics, right? And one thing really stands out to me. Quite often on this channel, I've bitched about the left and how we keep splitting each other up. It seems like one of the things that the guys miss is that on the left, there are even yes, there are differences when it comes to social matters, like in what we pay attention to. Like different people on the left pay different attention to different stuff, social in the social sphere, but even in the economic sphere, I mean, the way they talk is as if like the left sees economics in pretty much the same way, and in its fundamentals, I would say yes. I would agree, but there is a lot of nuance and some some rather large nuance, in my opinion. But their argument is solid. That what we need to argue about is what we need to push to argue against the anti-immigration stuff is wealth disparity, wealth inequality, wealth disparity. And I've done that myself. I have actually done that myself on this channel. But this is something I reckon we do need to do, is make more of an effort in countering the anti-immigration narrative with wealth inequality narratives. There's plenty of evidence for it. I mean, the average person can see it around them in the fucking street. This is something I reckon we on the left, we've kind of gotten into the weeds with the social matters, and they do matter. We still do have to make sure that that we push those things, to be fair, but I think we really need to pay more attention to wealth disparity, wealth inequality, and the fact that, I mean, during the pandemic, the transfer of wealth from from the poorest to the richest happened at such a massive scale. The richest people in the world are far richer than they were before the pandemic. It's fucking ridiculous, and and that's just talking about this country or this union. But fuck it, just England alone. Just talking about England alone. The richest people in the country went fucking nuts and made themselves even richer. That's what we need to be pushing. Because people are feeling the pinch and they're being told that it's the immigrants' fault. Now, a lot of people are just going to believe that anyway. But there are more than enough people out there who are just being convinced that it's that way. It doesn't have to be the case. It really doesn't. So, Gary and Jimmy were talking about, you know, trying to build up this leftist movement because Labour aren't doing good enough, and they don't think Labour will do good enough. I don't. I gotta admit, I'm on that at the moment because, you know, I'm not so well educated on economics, I suppose. I mean, they're certainly not doing good enough in preparing for sea level rise and climate change, the effects of climate change at the moment. So yeah, but then again, I have to be taking it into account that, like, what would happen to the market, to would we would a drastic policy on wealth transfer back to, you know, to spread the wealth transfer back out to the poorest, right? What would that do to the markets? Would it do the same thing? Because as much as I don't like the market, right, would it do the same thing that trust did? Would it short the market? Would it make the market go freak? And what effect would that have on on the ordinary person, on the average voter? I don't know what I like. It gets oh, it gets really annoying for me when people on the left make these arguments about social matters, right? Now, I would argue that the Green Movement, the climate change and sea level rise activism and whatnot, that's not just social, that is economics as well. That spans both, all the way across. Like, as far as I'm concerned, what happens with the environment affects the economics. It affects social matters. So that's one thing that I feel is something to continue to try to convince people of. And I've not been doing a too bad job in my own personal sphere. Or at least my own personal sphere, you know? I'm getting there with people. But because we on the left delve into so much with these social matters, and again, I'm not saying that trans rights and abortion matters and other matters aren't important, because they fucking are. What I'm saying is that the average voter doesn't fucking care. And when it comes to social matters, you are just gonna alienate a lot of people. Economics, that's where we need to make more of the argument. But we need to make, instead of making the argument in the form of statistics and numbers, we need to be making the argument in the case of how these things affect their life. You know, show where they actually fit in the big picture. Make it so that they recognize where the pain is coming from. This this is something I've had some success with. I get arguments, but I've had a fair amount of success with it. I reckon this is where the left does go a bit wrong. We go too much on the social stuff, and we end up alienating one another because of it. And we do that as I said at the beginning of the video, we do that with economics too. But in its fundamentals, we mostly agree when it comes to the economics. So it's a case of us all coming together and talking about this stuff rather than sniping at each other from our different viewpoints. You know what I mean? You can't just constantly attack your own fucking side and then complain when the other side fucking wins. Because you didn't fucking help. You're not building bridges, breaking them down. And if we're going to beat the right, we're going to, we do need to build bridges. We need to show how right-wing economics directly harms these people. Or right-wing economic policies directly harms people. And I understand that there are many arguments on the left about economic policy itself, but I feel that after a long enough chat, most tend to agree on the fundamentals, and over time you can trend towards more leftist economic policies. And as an evolutionist, that's how I see that working anyway. So let me know what you guys think. I'm really curious as to what you guys think about the Jimmy the Giant video. I'll stick the link to that in the description below. Yeah, I just let me know what you think. I think it's better to build bridges than it is to condemn our own side for their own individual differences, like i.e. the theism or atheism. That's not an important one. It really isn't. Not right now. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. This has been One Angry Pagan. My shield at your backs, guys. My sword at your service. Blessed be, badgers. God with.